This is 44-year-old Stephanie Pavlons leaving her apartment for a doctor's appointment. And this is her boyfriend, 55-year-old Matthew Paul. Just 2 hours from now, he'll return home with Stephanie's purse and water bottle, but without Stephanie. In fact, she won't be seen again for 17 long days when the police receive this harrowing 911 call.
And tell me exactly what happened?
We found a dead body in the woods.
In the days that follow, detectives will work tirelessly to gather the information and evidence needed to convict her killer. But the person responsible has meticulously covered their tracks, planting false leads, constructing alibis, and leaving no eyewitness or DNA behind. If all goes to plan, they'll soon be long out of the country. It's September 9th, 2022, a regular day for a construction worker in Waukesha, Wisconsin. It's about to take a turn for the worse. While installing signs on a private golf course just outside of the city, the worker detects a foul odor coming from the tree line. Concerned, he moves closer to investigate the source of the smell. Seconds later, a dispatcher with the Waukesha Police Department receives the most disturbing call of their lifetime.
And tell me exactly what happened?
We found a dead body in the woods when we were putting up stakes for no trespassing signs.
Okay. I'll have a couple officers meet with you, okay?
All right.
15 minutes later, construction workers at the scene will lead deputies to the body's location. What they find there will haunt them for life. Partially hidden in long grass is the decomposing body of a woman. A disposable scalpel rests a short distance away, leading officers to wonder if her death may have been. But the autopsy results will leave detectives more puzzled than ever. The body is partially skeletonized with no soft tissue on the face or neck. Maggots have consumed the internal organs. Disturbingly, it's the life cycle of these insects that will enable medical examiners to determine a date of death, August 23, 2022. Her body had been lying abandoned for 17 days before construction workers stumbled across it, an unusual detail in itself given that nobody in the area had reported a missing woman. What's worse, she is also so badly decomposed that forensic specialists need to pull dental records to identify her and reveal the name of the victim. Stephanie Pavlons, and her cause of death is a mystery. There are no signs of external or internal trauma found on the body. No stab wounds, no bullet holes, no blunt force injuries. So it's nearly impossible to determine the manner of her death. But one thing specialists are sure of: the victim did not take life. The scalpel found at the scene was too far from the body for Stephanie to have used it on herself, which can only mean someone deliberately left it there to lead the officers in the wrong direction. With the investigation soon in full swing, detectives break the news to Stephanie's parents, only to learn that they weren't even aware that she was missing. Although Stephanie hadn't replied to any messages for over 2 weeks, her silence hadn't raised alarm bells for the reasons that soon would become clear. Her parents do, however, have crucial information to share with the officers. A potential suspect is Stephanie's boyfriend, Matthew Paul, the last person to see her alive. Police quickly identify Matthew's address, the Willow Park apartment complex. According to staff, Matt had been seen that day leaving the apartment with Stephanie, only to return about an hour later alone. Stephanie had not been seen since. Investigators know exactly what they need to do next. They pull the building security footage and review it from beginning to end. What they find is something that instantly changes the whole course of the investigation. On September 17th, Matthew Paul is arrested. Police search both his apartment and car. By the time they sit him down for an interview, they have uncovered more disturbing evidence than they imagined possible. Now detectives want him to explain everything to them in this interrogation room.
So here's where we're at here. I just want to get through some paperwork with you. You have questions, we have questions. We want to get through this and get about our evening. It's a Saturday night, I'm sure. You'd rather be at home, we'd rather be at home.
At this point, detectives have 3 major pieces of evidence: suicide attempts, last note, and camera footage, pointing at Matt's possible involvement in Stephanie's disappearance. As the interview unfolds, they'll present each one, carefully gauging his reaction to determine whether he's telling the truth or lying through his teeth. One of those items is sitting inside this detective's folder. He deliberately saved it for last, knowing that Matt would have no way of escaping it, no matter how hard he tries. It won't be long, however, before the detectives realize Matt is a very complicated man to question.
I haven't done anything to be charged.
Well, there you go.
Nothing.
Okay.
There's nothing in my vehicle, and there's nothing in that apartment. Nothing.
We're not even accusing you of having anything in your truck or
Well,
park.
I'm just saying.
We just want to ask you a few questions. That's all we want to do, and talk to you a little bit. And see if maybe some of the answers you can give us can clear us up and point us in the right direction, maybe.
Okay.
All right?
I will try, but when you try calling, I already contacted the family member, and I will get the best attorney that, just because I live in that place does not mean I can't afford it. My family.
Nobody's saying anything bad about you, Matt. Nobody's.
We don't have any preconceived notions about you.
I'm just being truthful with you.
Matt's threat to call the best attorney is a clear attempt to gain control over the interrogation, and he seems convinced that the police are after him because he lives in an expensive apartment. But that couldn't be further from the truth. Detectives know he flips houses for a living. What's notable, Stephanie worked for him. She had no other job or steady paycheck, which meant she relied heavily on Matt for even the most basic things, including transportation, since she had no car of her own. So if there's anyone who knows her movements that day that she went missing, it would be him. Detectives brush aside his comments and move forward with the interrogation. However, Matt doesn't let up, even after a simple question that anyone can answer.
Do you have a degree in anything, or no? Just some college?
Well, I'm not going to answer that one because we're not. I mean, if I have too much education, then I can be considered too smart. And
No.
If I don't have any education, then
No. We ask that question. We ask that question because sometimes when we talk to people, like my brother said, they haven't gone through a lot of schooling, and we want to make sure that when we're talking to you, you understand what we're saying. We understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
That's what we ask. It's not to be offensive or to say anything negative or positive.
well,
about you.
I'm not narcissistic, so I'm not going to talk up my
Okay.
education or my ability to comprehend. And
You seem fine to me, so I don't. You don't need to give me your curriculum, so I'm confident. So
it's different things, so
yeah, that's fine.
it's a whole list of stuff. So I'd rather get
to the meat
to
potatoes.
the next section.
Yeah.
Little does Matt realize that the detectives are about to completely disprove this with a simple procedure every suspect goes through, being read their Miranda rights. Without a second thought, Matt waves away his rights. He is then asked to sign the document, and that's where it finally hits him.
If you were just going to ask me a few questions, why would it be so important that I sign that?
It's just signing that you acknowledge what your rights are. It's not you admitting
Right.
anything.
Yeah, you're not.
Right, but like it says, this has happened to me before. Anything that I say can be used against me. And with the window incident,
What's the window incident?
the window incident that I got charged, and my own attorney said that the DA's office knew that I didn't do it.
Yeah.
They didn't listen to all the exculpatory evidence,
Yeah.
but they didn't care.
But
That's the type of serious criminal activity. Okay, that's big time criminal activity. When we got an institution here that's doing stuff like that.
we don't have anything to do with that, right? We're just a couple of cops. We have nothing to do with the bureaucracy of this
I won't-
attorney.
And you told us already that you didn't do anything wrong. All we have is some basic questions for you. Okay.
Again,
Again, we're not trying to
But
trick you.
that's what I've heard before, and that's what you say. But how do I know?
Because all I'm asking you is to have a little faith that I'm not lying to you. Okay? You've never met us, all right? I'm asking you just to go on a little bit of a limb that I'm not.
That's what I live on, faith, because that's a hell of a lot stronger word than hope. Okay. Okay.
All right?
I don't hope. I have faith. Okay.
If at any
Because
point,
I know I didn't do anything wrong. But whatever reason you have me here,
that's what we want to talk about.
it
Okay?
doesn't matter what you found in my apartment. Everything that I have in my apartment is legal.
Sure.
Okay.
Right.
I wouldn't be that freaking stupid if I did have something illegal. I would not have something.
Matt, nobody thinks you're stupid. All right? And again, if we start disrespecting you, then
No, but I'm just saying, I go by my gut, okay? And if I feel that, I'm going to be played, that's it, attorney,
I'm not trying to play you.
Yeah, we're just having a conversation, Matt, but that's all.
And again, we have some real basic questions, and you can answer whatever questions you choose to. If you don't want to answer a question, don't answer.
If Matt were as smart as he thinks, he would have asked for an attorney right away and continued the interrogation with legal counsel present, but he does not do that. Instead, he keeps talking, which isn't helping his case much. Even worse for him, he'll begin insisting that there's nothing for the officers to find inside of his apartment, which is a strange thing to emphasize given the question he's about to hear.
Do you have any, are you curious at all about why we want to talk to you?
Well, of course I am.
Let's talk about Stephanie. What is she to you?
Oh my God. Stephanie is the mother of my daughter. And you guys already know that.
Yeah. Did you guys have a current relationship?
We've always had some type of relationship with helping each other.
Okay.
She helped me. She was spending a lot of time with her family and friends, and she helped me recently when I broke my ankle. She helped me out quite a bit, and I was quite thankful for that. I had a few other family members that helped. What I've been with her, this is well documented with her doctors. It's well documented with the attempts that she's made in numerous places. Back in April, she took a whole bottle by her parents' house, and they just kind of blew it off like it was nothing. And I tried to get her to stop the medications, to get help.
Now, sounding increasingly worried, Matt has just brought up something disturbing. He claims Stephanie had attempted suicide back in April of 2022. The comment is abrupt and completely unprompted, but it helps detectives realize something serious about Matt. He's lying. The detectives already have Stephanie's medical records in their hands. According to them, her last attempt at taking her life was in May of 2021, nearly a year before the incident Matt claims occurred. This is the detective's first clue we mentioned, and Matt's first strike. And slowly, Matt is beginning to realize the real gravity of his predicament.
What's going on here?
Do you know where she is? Do you know, like, when's the last time you saw her?
No.
You don't know where she is? Do you remember the last time you saw her?
No, weeks ago.
Weeks ago?
And I'm sick to my stomach.
Why is that?
Because I have a bad feeling.
Walk me through the last, when you said you saw her a few weeks ago, where were you guys?
I can't recall the exact time that I saw her. She had to go to the hospital with her because she was in such poor condition.
We'll come back to that one.
I also have documentation. I called mine. She attempted this.
When was that?
She started this stuff 3 or 4 years ago. I wanted to do everything I could for her, but I didn't want her to get locked up in a mental home, and she kept telling me that she was getting better. She was going to get better. She was recently seeking treatment through the hospital. But I would say the last year, she was just, since the beginning of the year, she was just out of control.
With what? Like, as far as what?
It's just threatening all the time, threatening all the time. taking pills.
What was she being like? Why was she depressed? What was she feeling that way from?
She just wanted to be a mother. I mean, part of this whole ordeal is her kid was taken away from.
Matt continues to push the idea that Stephanie took life, repeatedly emphasizing that she may have risks. While investigators did find a disposable scalpel at the scene, its location 15 feet from the body makes it unlikely in this scenario, and no empty medication bottles were found in the area. Even if her death had been due to... Why would she decide to do it in those woods? That's what Matt is about to try to explain.
When was the last time you remember seeing Stephanie?
There were a couple times where she just snapped and just left. She would come and go. Sometimes she would come over and I would just say, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" And she would say, I gotta go. And her mother always picked her up. So where is she?
That's what we're trying to find out. We don't know. She's missing. So we're trying to figure out who saw her last, where she was.
I heard something on the social media that there was an abduction in Delafield.
An abduction?
Some type of an abduction.
When was that?
Or just a couple of days ago. They were looking into some type of abduction.
To the detective, it feels like Matt is deliberately trying to avoid answering this question accurately and to steer the focus away from himself. And when Stephanie's disappearance comes up again, Matt attempts to score a few points by portraying himself as a concerned partner.
I'm really worried. I actually wanted to call the parents. And I was also thinking about coming in and making some type of report, but with all the things that have happened to me in the past, I start thinking, right away,
You guys said you went bed or mattress shopping, right? Do you know, okay, so walk me through that day, Matt. Okay, so you guys went looking around at different mattresses or bed frames or what? Mattresses?
Yeah.
You said you went to a couple different places like Steinhoff.
Yeah, we went to a couple of different places.
Did you guys buy it? Order a mattress? Did you buy a mattress?
Yeah.
Okay. You guys come back to your apartment? Do you remember?
Yeah. After that, we did.
Did she spend the night?
Yep.
Okay.
I believe she spent the night, and then we went to. The next day, we went somewhere, and I believe that's the day she took off. And I thought, well, that's nothing new because she'd done this. She calls her mom.
That somewhere was a doctor's appointment Matt had scheduled for his injured knee, the very same day he claims Stephanie decided to run away. Finally, the detectives are about to get the full story.
Did she come in the building with you? Do you remember?
No.
She stayed in the truck?
Yeah, she stayed in the truck.
You finished your appointment?
Yeah.
Come out to your truck, and then what?
She's gone.
She's not in the truck anymore?
She's gone, yeah.
Did she have the keys or no? Do you remember?
Oh, no, I had the keys.
Did she give you any indication she was going to go anywhere, or like where she would be going?
No. I just don't like this. It seems like you guys are trying to get me, for some reason, to be with her. What happened? Matt, where is she?
That's what we're trying to figure out, Matt. We don't know. Okay, she's been missing, right? You said you haven't seen her for weeks. So we're trying to talk to everybody.
Please tell me. This is not normal for her not to get a hold of me. This is not normal for me not to hear something from her.
Right. When you got back out to your truck, Matt, and she wasn't there, did you go in the building? Did you check the bathroom?
Man? What's going on, man?
That's what we're trying to find out, Matt. You said when you came out to your truck, she wasn't there. Okay. What happened next?
At that particular time, I thought it was another time that she went and called her mom to pick her up.
Okay. Did you try giving her a call?
No, I couldn't, because she left the phone at the house.
She left her phone at the house?
Yeah, she left the phone at the house.
But you didn't realize.
So, like I've done before, I drove up and down looking for her, and I can't, with my leg, I mean, I can't,
Oh, I got you. Did she have any bags with her, any property that she took with her?
No. No, I don't know what you were just gonna say, but no, I knew that she didn't have her phone that time before I went in, because I said, I'll text you or something. She's like, oh no, I forgot my phone. And I thought that was really strange. But that wasn't unusual either. I mean, she's left her phone behind. Sometimes she brings her iPad. I really didn't notice. I just went in, I came out, and she was gone.
When you said you drove up and down, you looked for her, did you?
Yeah, I was thinking that maybe she took a walk up the street. Maybe she called her mom. Maybe she was just venting, because she's had a habit of this in the past, to run out to the woods, call her mom, do stuff like that.
Okay. Has she contacted you since then?
No.
While it might sound believable that Stephanie conveniently left her phone in the apartment before disappearing without a trace, one disturbing fact casts doubt on that explanation. No one ever reported her missing. If Matthew were truly the loving partner he portrays himself to be, notifying police of his girlfriend's disappearance would have been a high priority. But the truth is, he was anything but. During the search of his car, investigators discovered something that completely undermines his story and places him under serious suspicion.
Do you remember anything the last time you saw her, the day she left? Did she leave anything in the car that you thought was odd? That you noticed?
Yeah. I didn't notice it right away. I noticed it when I cleaned the car out and I pulled the car mats out, which
when you found the purse.
Which you guys already know what was in there. Well, come on, man, stop playing stupid.
We haven't gone through your car, man.
Yeah, I did not.
You just said you had a warrant for the car.
That doesn't mean we did anything with it yet.
I did not. Neither one of us have. We're here talking to you. Okay.
Not only had Stephanie left her phone in the apartment, but she had also left her purse with all of her belongings in his car before supposedly going her own way. And Matt claims he only noticed this 2 weeks after her disappearance. Nothing about his story makes sense, but before the detectives can confront him about it, he strikes first, trying to take control of the narrative again. But in doing so, he inadvertently dropped another clue, one that points directly to his involvement.
The day that I found the purse,
yeah.
When I cleaned the truck out, there was a note underneath. There was a note underneath the car mat.
What did it say?
It wasn't anything that I haven't already heard before through email, through texting about threatening. But in the note, she didn't threaten. She said that, I'm tired of everybody. I hate everybody. I hate you. I hate my parents. Fuck everybody. You know, that type of language.
That note's in your truck now?
Yeah.
What did that note make you think?
I just left it there because I have nothing to hide. I'm asking you I mean, come on, guys.
All I'm asking you, man, was that
you
note.
guys aren't stupid. If if you're trying to accuse me of something,
Matt, no one's accusing you of
I
anything.
wouldn't have any of this stuff, but
Matt, no one.
I didn't know what to think about it, so I left it there.
This is about to become one of the detective's most important pieces of evidence against him. That note wasn't a final message from Stephanie before taking her life. Instead, it was just 2 sentences, but enough to reveal the truth about what was really happening in their family. It read, "I hate you. I'm tired of being used and taken for granted." And this, just a tip of a much larger yet haunting iceberg of their relationship. By the time of this interrogation, investigators had uncovered yet another crucial piece of evidence, Stephanie's personal journal with her thoughts scribbled inside, entries so disturbing they'd be used in court to condemn Paul of much more heinous crimes. At this point, it's enough for the detectives to reach a clear conclusion. Matt is withholding critical information while trying actively to mislead detectives, both of which only confirm their belief that Matt is responsible for Stephanie's disappearance. While the detectives take a short break, Matt begins to realize how much he's already said that could land him in serious trouble. He'll begin plotting a new approach, one that involves a shift in tactics, playing the victim. He is the last person to have seen Stephanie before she disappeared, has her phone and her purse with a breakup note. It's time for the detective to present his final and most damning evidence, hidden right there in his folder.
You see, that's August 23rd, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. That's her going out.
Well,
here.
of course.
Right.
Of course you're going to have pictures
Right.
going in and out.
That's her going out to the truck.
And I
okay?
told you I saw it.
I know. I'm just showing you some stuff, okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right. That's her walking out to the truck, okay?
That's the purse, right?
Yeah, that's the
Okay.
first.
A couple of minutes later, you're walking out over here, and the truck drives away, and you guys go off to the appointment and everything. I think you guys went to Quick Trip. Does that sound familiar?
I don't recall.
But you went to your appointment that day at 8:30, right? Okay. All right. Okay. This is where we need to figure out something because it doesn't make any sense. All right. That's you coming back the same day at 11:14. Okay. Hold on. Listen, Matt. You're holding her water bottle, and Matt. Okay. That's you going upstairs wearing the same shirt you have on now. Okay. This is the same day. At 12:29, so less than an hour later, you walk in, and that's her purse in the bag. Okay? So this whole story, Matt, about...
That's her purse in the bag.
Yes, Matt. So the whole story about finding the purse in the truck later makes it wouldn't have happened because
No.
Matt, that's her purse in a plastic bag, okay, that you carried inside after you carried her water bottle in. That she walked... Matt, look. You see? That's her water bottle, and that's her purse, okay? You walk in with her water bottle. You go upstairs.
What time is this?
When you got home, Matt.
Yeah, that's when I came back from my appointment.
Right. So you carried in her water bottle and her purse that same day. This is the 23rd, the same day. This isn't a week or two later at a car wash where you found it in the back seat with a note that you then read and then stuck underneath the floor mat. Matt.
That's not her purse in the bag.
It is her purse in
No,
the bag, Matt.
that's clothes.
It's clothes, Matt?
That's clothes.
Whose clothes?
Yeah. That's clothes I had in the back. That's not a purse.
It is her purse, Matt.
No, it's not.
Matt goes into immediate denial. He knows he's in deep trouble. The footage from the apartment complex where he lived with Stephanie tells a different story, leaving with her at one point and then returning home alone, but carrying her belongings. She never appeared on any of those cameras again. Matt has lied about her attempts. He has also had her purse from the very beginning, not for 2 weeks after her disappearance. And now police have evidence suggesting he killed her and tried to make it look like she had ended her own life. He insists the purse in the footage isn't Stephanie's, but who else's could it be? These images mark the beginning of the end for Matt.
I have nothing to do with what happened to her.
What happened to
So
her?
that purse,
What happened?
that purse
Matt?
and water bottle ain't shit.
Matt,
Okay.
what happened?
That purse and water bottle ain't shit.
Yeah,
Okay? That's not going to prove anything.
We're not here.
That's not going to prove or disprove anything.
agreed.
Matt,
Okay?
Yeah.
what happened to her? Only you can tell us.
I don't know what happened to her.
Matt doesn't realize it yet, but by saying this to the detectives' faces, he has essentially given himself away. It's at this moment he makes the only smart decision.
Okay, I have to get an attorney.
Hey, Matthew.
I'm trying.
I don't think you are. No, you're not. You're lying.
But it's already too late for him. Stephanie Pavlons was an unfortunate victim of severe health issues, but much of that turmoil stemmed from her manipulative and violent partner. Inside his apartment, detectives found Pavlon's hidden daily planner. Detectives never expected to find the reason behind the victim's ongoing battle with anxiety and depression, but now they have.
-5 p.m. Had a good day at work until I came home and he thought there was smoke left there. Wasn't. Gave me a good hard slap to my face, which stung and gave me a migraine. Good day, bad night. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. This is why I want sometimes. Again, blamed for something I didn't do. He just doesn't know how to accept that he can do dumb things too. In reality, though, it's just easier to blame me. And when I say something about it, stop talking, I can't read that word right now, or you're done, even though they are prescribed to me.
This is just two of hundreds of entries. In reality, Stephanie's diary was filled with her tormented thoughts and experiences of life with Matt, although this wouldn't be called living, but misery.
Cleaned around the house, and in doing so, kicked a little piece of Bud, so he kicked or punched me in the tailbone, which I believe is now bruised on the inside because it hurts to sit, bend, and squat. Made me take 2 bike rides even though he saw me like that. Checked out house in Pewaukee.
August 30, 2020.
Black and blue eye over a pill I didn't take, and butt still hurts and will all week. If I'm so important to him, why does he make me feel so useless?
And this was only the tip of a much larger iceberg of emotional and physical abuse endured by Stephanie at the hands of Matthew Paul. Investigators would also uncover multiple photos from Pavlon's phone. In them, she documents many injuries, including a bruised and swollen eye and a red mark on her chest. The injuries are consistent with the journal entries that she had been making since 2020. One of her final entries simply reads, "I feel trapped." On September 17, 2022, the day of Matthew Paul's interrogation, detectives searched his phone browsing history and discovered a chilling digital trail. In the days after Stephanie's body was discovered, he had searched the Waukesha County obituaries, local funeral homes, and phrases like "dead body found by construction crew." Paul had also been searching for Stephanie's surname on a daily basis, even before anyone had contacted him about her disappearance, all while her parents and even her own daughter Layla were desperately trying to reach her. Investigators also found saved screenshots of news articles reporting the discovery of Stephanie's body, images of her driver's license, police news releases, and even photos of prescription bottles. Later, detectives would uncover even more damning evidence, and this is where things get interesting.
I had you read through a series of Skype messages that were exchanged between Mr. Paul and a woman that you eventually identified as Norma Jean Desierto, correct?
Correct.
Was that hundreds, if not thousands, of Skype messages between Mr. Paul and Ms. Desierto in reality, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
These will be excerpts from Skype conversations between Mr. Paul and Sherlyn Valente.
Ms. Valente is the second woman from the Philippines that he was communicating with on a regular basis?
That's correct.
Okay.
It turned out Paul had been communicating with 2 women from the Philippines, saved in his phone as Majin and Beautiful Disaster. These conversations were, sexual in nature and revealed that Paul wanted to move to the Philippines and never come back. Investigators also discovered a list with written countries and extradition laws, suggesting that he had been researching countries he could escape to evade justice. By this point, everything the investigators had uncovered pointed in one direction. Matthew Paul was undoubtedly guilty. At his trial on November the 11th of 2025, the prosecution presented the case based only on compelling circumstantial evidence. Despite no DNA evidence, no official cause of death, and no witnesses, the digital evidence from Matthew's cell phone, together with his history of abuse, proves that he had both the motive to see Stephanie dead and the opportunity to commit the crime. Prosecutors argue that, in the spur of the moment, Matthew Paul had driven Stephanie Pavlons to a remote area before strangling her with the chain strap from her own purse. He then hid the body in the tree line and left a scalpel from her medical bag to make it look like she had ended her own life. When Matthew is offered a chance to address the court, he doesn't use it to offer his sincere apologies or express his remorse. Instead, he wastes no time firing back at the prosecutor.
First, I just want to correct some of the puke coming out of Gordon's mouth. I just want to make a statement about this case. I look at the justice system here in the United States. It's about winning. It's not about the truth. The U.S. has 4% of the world's population. 20% of the people behind bars on this planet are here in the United States or on probation. Why? Maybe sham trials. And I think this was definitely a sham trial called Making a Murderer here in Waukesha. It was definitely a pseudo-sham trial where psychopaths in suits fabricated extreme circumstantial events and turned them into their wild imagination. No wonder why they get away with manufacturing charges. The public and jury believe these lies and story. Maybe if these so-called professionals did their job, we wouldn't be here. I am the only victim here. I'm the one being murdered by the new Gestapo. All the testimony showed no smoking gun, except the police think or thought I did something. This is prosecution, not justice, by a tyrannical fascist dictator government here in Waukesha.
After hearing his speech, Judge Ralph Ramirez can only smile at the absurdity of the defendant's words before delivering the lines that best capture Matthew's true nature.
It would be absurd to think that, Mr. Paul was going to turn himself into authorities and say, I killed her, come and collect her body so it doesn't rot in the woods. But that's what he didn't do, right? Of course he did. He killed her and he left her to rot in the woods as if she was roadkill. And the condition of her body, the debasement of her by leaving her to rot in the woods added insult upon injury, literally and figuratively. And I'm going to tell you, Mr. Paul, that this jury deliberated for less than 1 hour. They walked out of here at 3:20. We keep track of this. And at 4:20, I was told that they had a verdict. The jury deliberated for less than 1 hour and found you guilty on both counts. And when I say succinctly, what I'm saying that they did it in very quick fashion, without hesitation. And I will tell you this, in my 40 plus years of legal experience, to my recollection, this is the fastest verdict on a first-degree intentional homicide that I can recall.
With this said, the judge seals the deal and pronounces the final verdict.
As to count number 1, I'll impose a sentence of life imprisonment without any eligibility for release to extended supervision. As to count 2, I'm going to impose a term of imprisonment of 12 and a half years with 7.5 years initial confinement and 5 years of extended supervision consecutive to the term of life.
We would like to offer our sincere condolences to the victim's family.